Hold on. My niece Ashley, who very much posted her videos on social media with some accusations about her family.
This was not the first time of me telling this story. This has been years. It started me telling this story when my sister passed away. So this is like years of me getting to this point, to this layer. I always stand true by what I said. I always stand true by what happened. And I don't know if there was a right or wrong way, the way I handled it. I don't think that there was. And with what I speak with my therapist with, there was no right or wrong way to tell the story. I just had to tell it.
Some stories just refuse to stay buried, no matter how hard people try to push them down. And Ashley's newest video, it cracked the entire situation wide open like somebody popped a pressure valve. The energy behind this one hits totally different, sharper, heavier, and way more revealing than anything she's shared before.
That is totally okay. I am an example of that. You may not get support from your family, and that is totally fine. You still have the right to use your voice. You still have the right to talk. You still have the right to say how you feel. The world will try to silence you. People will try to silence you, but the world needs your voice and not your side.
She circles back to everything she talked about during her trip to the US, the meeting with the Braxtons, the moment she thought she'd finally get a real chance to tell her story. But to even understand the mess, you have to rewind. Because none of this started with a random plane ticket. Ashley didn't hop on a flight, just to sightsee. Tamar Braxton set the whole thing up. Yes, Tamar. She covered the flight, planned the schedule, and arranged everything so Ashley could sit on her podcast face-to-face with the family and finally speak her truth.
And he found someone else, and he married my stepmom. But, it was not a good relationship. He was physically abusive to her.
Okay.
And then she was physically, mentally, and emotionally abusive to my sister and I.
This was supposed to be Ashley's moment, the first real chance to speak openly in front of the people involved. And she walked in with nothing but respect. She thanked Tamar, she thanked the whole family, and she genuinely appreciated the opportunity. No drama, no attitude, just honesty. But here's where everything turned sideways. The episode never aired. Not a clip, not a teaser, nothing. The interview, the whole point of the trip, just disappeared. And the question hanging in the air is simple. Why record it just to bury it? What happened in that room that made them lock it away?
To everyone who's been supporting me, who's been commenting, who's been sharing, who's been telling me stories and writing to me and just being so supportive. I appreciate you so much, way more than you know. It got to be a little bit. And that's to be expected for those of you who just think that I'm just chaos for this. And I did want to come back on and just say that I really hope that this prompted you to have a conversation with your own family and that you decided to give your family or your friends or whoever it is a safe space to be able to talk about this in these conversations, because we normally, typically, and I'm talking about from the African-American community.
And the timing? Too perfect. As soon as Ashley's father sent a cease and desist, everything froze. The episode was shelved, the conversation was buried, and the truth slipped right back into the dark. Every time Ashley gets close to being heard, something jumps in front of her. Suddenly, there's legal pressure. Suddenly, people pull back. Suddenly, everything promised goes silent. The way that conversation got shut down feels off. Like someone hit a switch the second things got too real. And honestly, it's hard to believe that room ever held the kind of honest conversation Ashley deserved. Because one detail keeps echoing like an alarm.
We really decide to sweep these things under the rug, and we have to stop doing that, and we have to have these conversations. And we have to talk about these things in these situations. As much as sometimes I feel like it was negative, it was positive in the sense that we actually had these conversations. So that I'm really grateful for. And another thing that I want to say is that telling your story after being silenced is not an easy task. I wish that I could just beautifully talk about the situation and it makes sense and everything, every piece is put together. It's not how it works. when you've been silenced and when you start telling your story.
Even with everything that's been said about Ashley's father, the concerns, the whispers, the uncomfortable stories, he's still protected, completely shielded. It's wild when you look at it. So many voices pointing in the same direction, yet somehow he's the one people rally around every time. Think about that. Multiple warnings, multiple signs, and instead of opening space for the truth, the circle tightens around him. There's this unspoken rule. Keep it quiet, keep it contained, keep it in the family, no matter who gets hurt in the process. But Ashley, she's done carrying that silence. In her new video, she speaks with intention, with clarity, and with strength. She brings up something heavy but necessary, the responsibility women in a family hold when a child tries to speak up. How listening can literally save someone. And this matters because Ashley was still growing up when all of this began.
It's like peeling an onion, you know? Sometimes the first time you tell the story, it's messy, pieces aren't together, but you're finally using that part of your voice to start speaking. And then you peel the next layer off, and it gets easier to talk about. So I wanted to showcase that in itself so that whoever is going through what I'm going through, whoever's been silenced, but they're learning to use your voice, you can understand too that it's not a journey that's just an easy journey. It's something that you have to work on and work towards. And the more you tell your story, the better you get to tell the story. I don't even know if I want to get into it all again, just because there's a lot of things that go into deciding to tell your story. When you decide to tell your story, it's going to affect somebody else, and someone else can feel hurt, and someone else can feel betrayed. And
she wasn't equipped to handle the emotional weight that got dropped on her. She didn't have the confidence to challenge adults, and she didn't have a safe space to process anything. She talks now about how she never felt secure enough in her own family to speak freely. She truly believed no one would take her seriously, and that alone is heartbreaking.
it can lead to so many things, but for me, I am so happy. I feel freer, my voice feels easier, my throat feels lighter. I don't know, I just feel like I don't have to carry this anymore because A, it was never mine to carry in the first place, but I just feel so much lighter. I just feel free, and I'm proud of myself actually for what I've done, because it was not easy. It's not easy to do it, but it's also not easy to do it when your family is who they are with the platforms that they have, and then putting it on the TV show. And I also want to commend my own family for doing that as well, because we are really showing you like what is real life. This is real life. Families go through things. It's ups, it's downs. It's not always easy. It's not always a...
Imagine being young, confused, overwhelmed, and carrying something heavy on your chest while the people you're supposed to trust make you feel like silence is your only option. Ashley says she was met with quiet pressure. Be polite, be respectful. Don't disrupt anything. Don't make adults uncomfortable. She carried that weight alone for years. Silence felt unsafe, but speaking felt dangerous. That kind of emotional cornering leaves real scars. And when you see how everything is unfolding now.
And did you have contact with Mum, like after Mum had gone?
No. Interesting enough, I never had contact with her. She also has 3 kids.
Wow.
So she moved on.
Yeah.
But I would sometimes see her sister and her mom and her dad sometimes.
Yeah.
I had a girl cousin, but it was always up and down. It was always some sort of a roller coaster. But after that, I never seen her ever again.
Wow. So was it like...
You can't help but wonder what else was covered up or softened to protect the wrong person. Ashley breaking that silence is exactly why this moment feels so powerful. She's finally stepping out of that corner and putting light on things everyone tried to hide. The weight she carried at her age is almost impossible to process.
Trajectory to the moon or at an incline of greatness. You have your ups and you have your downs. And so I also appreciate them for even putting it on the show. And as much as a bad rap that it's getting, I really hope, and I've seen it, that we're having these conversations about this topic. It's so important. This was not the first time of me telling this story. This has been years. It started me telling this story when my sister passed away. So this is like years of me getting to this point, to this layer. I always stand true by what I said. I always stand true by what happened. And
It's already hard growing up and figuring out who you are. But doing that while carrying painful memories you can't escape? That leaves marks that don't fade easily. But here's what separates Ashley. She's not speaking out just for herself anymore. She's using her voice for anyone who feels stuck inside their own pain. Anyone sitting on a secret because they're terrified of the fallout.
You sort of like, I know she's out there, and it kind of through the grapevine, you might hear something like, oh, she's out there doing this, that, and the other, but she's just not reaching out to you.
No, not reaching out at all. And no one talked about it either.
Okay.
And he had asked her family, like her mom, her dad, her family, not to talk about us. So we did not exist.
Wow.
Yeah. And so with my stepmom, it was a really interesting live, because for me, I was super excited. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting a new mom, and she put her name on our papers and things that.
Okay.
And so there was moments that were great, and I have 2 half brothers, so love them. Everything is awesome, but
She's talking to the people who've been hurting quietly, believing that speaking up will destroy everything. Her message is bold. Let it out. Don't let your story cage you. Reclaim your voice. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your freedom. When something heavy controls your choices, your self-worth, your whole world, saying it out loud can feel like breaking years-old chains. It may shake everything around you. It may make people uncomfortable, but your truth belongs to you, and nobody has the right to silence it. Courage isn't always loud. It's sometimes just choosing to speak after years of being told not to.
I don't know if there was a right or wrong way, the way I handled it. I don't think that there was. And with what I speak with my therapist with, there was no right or wrong way to tell the story. I just had to tell the story. And I knew that I was going to get repercussions, and I knew that I was going to get backlash, and I knew that I wasn't always going to be supported, but it wasn't about anybody else. It was all about me. And now there's this part of me that's just prepare my body for kids, that I just get to pass on a legacy to my kids where I'm not holding on to that anymore. It's not inside of me. It doesn't live within me. And I always want my kids to have something better than what I had. Truly, I've forgiven everybody in this situation. It's something that for me is...
Which brings us to something that really hits a nerve, Tamar Braxton's recent response. Because Ashley didn't pop up with some new story out of nowhere. That narrative doesn't line up with the facts. Ashley has been talking about this for years, openly, consistently, and without changing her story. Same details, same emotions, same timeline. She never spun it for attention. She's been trying to be heard for a long, long time. So when Tony reacts like this is some shocking new revelation, it leaves people confused. Ashley didn't start speaking now. She's been speaking, even when it cost her her peace.
In the past, I believe that a lot of people were hurt. I'm not the only victim in this situation. But I just really hope that if you're a mom, if you're an aunt, if you're a woman, that you can make the choice to just listen to the other person, or the child actually in this situation, because it was a child, that you're able to sit with the child, give them a safe space to talk, listen to them.
Her voice didn't materialize overnight. It's been echoing for years, waiting for someone to listen. So when Tony acts blindsided, questioning if Ashley is telling the truth, it doesn't match the history that's been public for years. How do you claim you never knew? How do you act like this is brand new information when the story has stayed the same the entire time? At some point, it stops looking like confusion and starts looking like a choice, a decision not to hear it then, just like a decision not to hear it now. And that brings us to the core issue: who gets believed, who gets dismissed, who gets protected, and who gets sacrificed to keep the family image clean.
how do you deal with physical, mental, emotional abuse? I would tell my dad, hey, I'm being abused. And not, like I wet the bed and I had to lick it up. Or maybe I was slapped so hard down the stairs. Or maybe I was punched in my face. Or maybe she held my ear and decided to scream in it for the next 2 minutes. I mean, it kind of was up and down.
Right.
And if I told my dad, then he would come home. He's a nurse.
Right.
So he worked the day shift, he would come home, and at night it was so traumatic to listen to them physically beating each other
Okay.
in the next room. So what do? Do you tell and risk?
And make a judgment of how to handle the situation that gives the child safety. I didn't have safety within my family or within my home. I didn't have I wasn't safe. I was not safe. I don't ever want another woman to feel like that, especially if you're a kid and something happened to you that you didn't ask for and you just had to deal with it. And I think that anybody who has been silenced, who has had something happen to them, I just hope that my story shows you that it's not always easy, but I still hope.
Ashley's ask has always been simple. Listen, treat her words with respect. Stop brushing her off like she's stirring chaos. Acknowledge that what she experienced matters. She was young when all of this began. She went through something deeply painful, and instead of being protected, she was pushed into silence. That kind of forced quiet leaves lifelong scars. But now, as an adult, she's choosing healing over hiding. She's reclaiming her voice piece by piece. And now the real question is whether the Braxtons are finally ready to face the truth, or if they'll keep pretending they never heard her. Because Ashley isn't backing down. Her story won't disappear just because it makes people uncomfortable. She already made her choice. She stepped into her truth with full courage. She spoke up when silence was crushing her. She let go of a weight that never belonged to her. And now the world is watching to see what happens next. Whether the family steps up or stays silent, Ashley already did the brave part. And before we wrap up, thank you to everyone following this situation with compassion and an open mind. These conversations aren't easy, but they matter. Ashley's voice is a reminder that truth changes things. If you're still here, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss what's next, because this story is far from over. And when this video ends, go check out the next one on your screen. There's even more celebrity drama waiting for you. You're not going to want to miss it.